All right. Nothing is explicitly needed, but I always like to have 2 blocks and a blanket handy, just in case. It's always nice to have support ready, and if you don't need it, you don't need it. Okay, I think we are all set to get going. Shed a layer real fast here. All right, let's go ahead and drop in here. Settle your attention in to your body, your breath. This moment into your practice. Notice where your body's making contact with the earth underneath you and how that's keeping you grounded. Root down through your sit bones and let your spine lengthen up tall to the sky, keeping the spine relaxed. Your shoulders begin to melt away from the ears. As you let anything that is distracting or overwhelming begin to soften and fade into the background. Notice how your breath feels today. Notice where you feel it in your body. Does it feel shallow and high up in your chest, constricted? Or does it feel open and deep? Feel the air coming in through your nostrils. From the very brim, maybe feel a nice cool sensation as you draw it into your being. And feel the warmth as it comes out of your body. Bring the awareness to the back of your throat. See if you can feel the air coming in and whooshing past your throat. Take a deep breath, dig a bit deeper, push the diaphragm down deep into the belly. And let it out as you soften. One more big breath, inhale. Exhale, follow the air all the way out. One more time, fill up all the way. Drinking it in. And exhale, soften as you let it go. If you'd like, take a moment to set an intention for today's practice or a dedication. An intention is simply something you'd like to cultivate more of in your life. It can be patience, joy, empathy, compassion, creativity. If you would like to dedicate your practice, you can dedicate it to a person, a group of people, or a place. If you're unsure this morning, if I can offer up the Ukraine this morning, there's a lot of human suffering happening over there, and if one of us suffers, we all suffer. You can picture their flag in your mind's eye with vivid color. The top half is a bright baby blue, as if like you see on a bright summer day. And the bottom half is a sunshine yellow. Notice any emotions or feelings, thoughts that might bubble up. And if your mind wanders, that's very normal. Sometimes our mind wanders more on some days than others. Just gently bring it back to your intention, your dedication. Shift your awareness back to your breath. And make your way into a wide-legged child's pose. You can roll over your shins or simply sweep your legs out by your side if you want a blanket underneath your knees, if they're a little cranky today. Send your knees out wide, bring your feet in to touch, and just sway back and forth, up and down, just to move through the hips, feeling them out today. Finding a little bit of lubrication through the hip joints. Maybe you find some more space even in the side body, stretching your arms out long, crawling them away from you. Any organic movements that are coming here, if you kind of want to wiggle from side to side, pushing the side of the ribcage over to the right, and then over to the left. Tuning into your body before we start moving, noticing how you're feeling, noticing what you need, knowing that what I offer up here is just an offering. You can always take what you need. Go ahead and settle down into your child's pose, letting your sternum, your chest, your heart kind of melt toward the mat. Crawl the fingertips away from you. Sit the hip bones back towards your heels. Try to get long. Begin to walk your hands over to the left. Trying to keep your sit bones heavy. Crawl the right fingertips over to the top left corner of the mat, getting long on the right side body, expanding through the right rib cage. Breathe into the right lung, maybe finding a bit more space. Begin to walk the hands over to the right. Crawl the left fingertips away from you towards the top right corner of the mat. Long line of energy from the left hip all the way out through the left fingertips. Let the hips be heavy here. Breathe into the left side body as if you can open up a set of gills. Go ahead and walk your hands back through center. Take one more big breath here. And begin to crawl yourself up into a tabletop. Begin warming up the wrists kind of by pawing at the mat, gripping the mat with all 10 fingers, pressing down through all 4 corners of the palms. You can take your fingers out wide, maybe begin to walk them back towards your knees or to where the fingers face the knees, and the thin-skinned side of your forearm is shining forward. Option to even lean back a little bit, opening up through the forearms and the palms. You can always just take the fingers out wide and rock back and forth. And if your hands ever get cranky or if they're feeling sensitive today, you can always use blocks. That provides a little bit of relief from that extended position, which usually is why they feel cranky. You can also come onto forearms or fists. So taking whatever option feels best in your body. Go ahead and bring them back forward. A little palm peels here. Look at the right hand, and as if your fingers are glued to the mat, begin to peel the heel of the palm up, stretching through the fingers. And then as if you're squashing an orange, making orange juice, squash the palm back down toward the mat, as if there's a little bit of resistance. Same on the left hand. Fingers are glued to the mat. Peel the palm up. And press down. Just finding some openness in the palm, the forearm. Moving back and forth with your own breath. Inhale as you peel the palm up. Exhale as you press down. Go ahead and plant both of your palms back onto the mat and send the right leg back long, tuck the toes, gentle press of the hands up towards the top of the mat to put tension into the back of that leg. And then slide your right leg out to the right for a gate tabletop, so it's perpendicular to your torso. See if you can plant the entire sole of the foot. Sometimes that pinky edge side has a little lift, and that's fine, but see what you can do here. And then take a little cat-cow, flick the tailbone up, drop the belly, gentle bend in the elbows as you pull your chest through your biceps, gentle lift of your gaze. Tuck the tailbone, push the mat away, puff up through the back of the heart, let the chin tuck in. Take a couple more here at your own pace with your own breath, tuning into the sensations you feel. Find a neutral spine. Begin to walk the hips back as if you're going to go into a child's pose. Press through the back shin to lift yourself up into gate. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, lean over towards your extended leg. Crawl your fingers down the leg. Left fingers reach up and over. Gentle squeeze of the glutes to send your hips forward, finding some hip extension and openness through those hip flexors. On your next exhale, you can cartwheel them to the other side of the mat. Gently plant the left hand, reach up with the right hand. Pressing through the left palm so this bottom shoulder is active and it's not sinking up into your ears. And then option to reach that top hand up and over your ear for a long side body stretch. Keep that foot planted. Reach your right palm up and pull your torso back up. And then come back down into your tabletop. Pull the right knee underneath you. Send the left leg back behind you. Tuck the toes. Gentle press to open up through the bottom of the foot and the calf. Loosening up in the Achilles tendon. And sweep it out to the left. perpendicular to your body. See if you can plant the sole of your foot. Take a few cat-cows here, dropping the belly, keep all four corners of the palm pressing into the mat. Push the mat away on cat. Inhale on cow, gentle bend in the elbows. Exhale, push. One more. Send the hips back toward the back heel, just to walk yourself up into a gate position. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, leaning over to the left. Right arm reaches up and over, gentle squeeze of the glutes, open up through the hips. Breathe into the right lung. Exhale, cartwheel the arms over to the right. Plant the right hands, modified side plank. Squeezing the glutes, reaching the arms in opposite directions. Bottom arm is active, pressing into the mat. Your gaze can be down at your bottom thumb or up at your top thumb. Maybe you even catch the side of your thumb with your bottom eye, your right eye. And then send that top arm up and over the ear for this rainbow position, rainbow stretch. Top arm reaches back towards your left foot and pull yourself up. Come back to tabletop. Scoot back here. Walk your hands forward just a bit. Grip the mat with all 10 fingers. Press down through all four corners. Gentle bend of the elbows. The eyes of the elbows are facing the top of the mat. The bend is back towards your knees. Keep your hands glued here, but as if you are pulling your hands back towards your knees, pull yourself forward, flick the tailbone up, think cow spine. Bend in the elbows as you lower to knees, chest, chin. Press halfway up, and then tuck your tailbone, send your hips towards the mat, and let it reverberate up your spine to wave yourself down onto your belly. Tops of the feet are pressing into the mat. Legs are active. Press your pubic bone into the mat, bringing space into your low back. Reach back towards your heels with your arms. Thumbs are facing down towards the mat. And as if someone is grabbing onto your arms to help you peel up your chest, inhale, peel the chest up and reach back towards your heels with your hands. Gaze can be neutral, somewhere down in front of you, or so you're not cranking your neck up. Exhale, lower. This time we'll lift our legs and our arms. Exhale to prepare. Inhale, lift into locust. Nice strong back body here. Reach your shoulders away from your ears. Fingertips reaching to your heels. Legs are nice and long. Exhale, lower. Bring your hands in close to your rib cage. Tuck your toes. Press yourself up through tabletop. And then send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. All four corners of the palms, again, pressing into the mat, pressing up and away from you, sending your sternum to melt toward the mat or toward your thighs. Bend into the knees. Don't worry about the heels touching the mat. If you would like to walk your dog, you can send a generous bend into one leg, sending the opposite heel toward the mat. And then other side. Any other exploratory movements you want to take here in our first downward facing dog? Find a neutral downward facing dog. Right into it, inhale, right leg up, three-legged dog, nice long and strong. Exhale, shift the weight forward, high onto the back tippy toe, bend the right knee, pull it up toward your right armpit, and plant it or pull it outside your right arm for a gentle lizard pose. Just gentle rocks up and down here just to kind of adjust to this first lunge of the day. Again, if you need space, your hands on blocks here can feel really nice. Giving yourself space in the spine and in the hips. Go ahead and drop the back knee. Untuck the back toes and begin playing with rolling this front knee onto the pinky edge side and then hugging it back in toward your right arm. Just gently rolling through that hip. Again, if this feels really extreme, you can bring your blocks onto a higher setting and back your hips up a bit. And you can do the same thing. Breathing into the sensations you're feeling and noticing what you're feeling. Noticing what you feel you need here. You can keep your left hand on a block and find a gentle twist with the right arm peeling open up towards the sky. Hug the right knee in. As you exhale, bring the right elbow, slide it down on the inside of that right leg. Maybe you tap your block. Maybe you reach toward the mat. Inhale, back open, twist. Exhale, bring the right hand back down. Tuck the back toes. Send the hips up for a wide-legged pyramid stance. Your hands can be on blocks. If you need to adjust your stance, making it shorter, you go ahead and do that. Breathe here. Press down through the big toe mound of that front leg. Weight rolling over the big toe mound of the back foot. You can be up high onto the ball mound of the back foot or be pressing the heel down toward the mat. Your choice. Come up high onto the ball mound of the back foot if you're not already. Bring a bend into the front leg. We're going to shift the weight forward. Bring that left foot out wide. For a wide-legged, we're going to move into a squat. Fingertips can be on the mat or the block, and just move up and down. Keep that compression with your thighs and your belly. Send the hips up. And lower. Find an active squat so you're not down too low, and send your arms up, reach forward. Breathe here, sit with it for just a moment, and then exhale, press through the heels, pull the hands into heart to a stand. Take a breath, take a moment. We're getting nice and warm. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, right back down to your squat, but just for a moment, sprinkle the fingertips on the mat, step back to plank or half plank. Go ahead and lower the knees. Pull the hands back to pull yourself forward to knees, chest, chin. Push yourself up halfway. Send the hips towards the mat and roll forward like a wave onto your belly. Inhale, peel the shoulders and the chest up. Cobra. Exhale, lower. Tuck the back toes. Press yourself up and back to child's pose. 2 breaths here. Roll back up through tabletop. Tuck the back toes. If they're not, and send your hips up and back downward facing dog. Other side, inhale, left leg up, nice, long and strong. Exhale, shift the weight forward, bringing the left foot outside the left hand. However you need to get it there. If you need to grab the ankle with the left hand, place it where you want it. Gentle rocks up and down, rolling through the big toe mound of that back foot. Notice how this hip feels compared to the other hip. Go ahead and lower the back knee. If you want to bring in blocks for extra space, go ahead. And begin to roll over onto the pinky edge side of that right foot and hug it back in. Try to keep your chest broad. Hug the knee in, press through the right palms, peel open, send the left palm up high to the sky, twisted lunge. Exhale, bring the left elbow down inside your leg. Maybe you tap the block or reach for the mat. Inhale, back open. Exhale, left palm back down, tuck the back toes, coming into pyramid pose, send the hips up and back, bring the legs towards straight. Adjust your stance so that this feels okay in your body. Press through the big toe mound of the front foot. Play with the back foot, being up high onto the ball mound or sending the heel low. Hands can always be on blocks here. Think about your sit bones reaching back behind you, the crown reaching forward, so the spine is long. I like to have a little micro bend in my front leg, so the stretch is mostly in the muscle, the belly of my muscle, and not in my connective tissues. Not that that is bad. There's just more elasticity in the muscle. Come up high onto the back ball mound, bend the front leg, bring the right foot up outside the right hand for an active squat. Send the hips back, reach forward. It doesn't have to be down low into a yoga squat. Hold it for just a moment. Exhale, press through the heels, bring your hands into heart center. Take a breath. Notice how you feel. Notice how your hips and legs feel. How do your shoulders feel? How do you feel emotionally? Always tapping back in to yourself and your needs. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, down, gentle squat. Plant the hands, step back, half plank. Pull yourself forward, knees, chest, chin, bending at the elbows. Press yourself up halfway. Send the hips down and roll down like a wave onto your belly. Inhale, cobra. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Exhale, lower. Press yourself up and back. Child's pose, 2 breaths. Pull yourself up through tabletop, tuck the back toes, send the hips up, downward facing dog. Inhale, 3-legged dog, right leg lifts. Exhale, bring the right leg outside your right palm, lizard lunge. You can plant that left hand on the ground or a block for more space. I really like it on the block myself. Press through the left palm as you peel the chest open, the torso open to the long edge side of the mat. Reach up through the right fingertips. Right arm, the top arm, is going to weave under the left armpit, and you're going to open up to the long edge side of the mat, pivot on the feet so the toes rotate to the long edge side of the mat. Keep yourself low, bend into the back knee, high skater or skandasana to the back of the mat. So the right foot is long and towards the top of the mat. Left foot is bent at the back of the mat. And then shift the weight, straighten the left leg or bring it towards straight and bend into the right leg, high skater or skandasana to the top of the mat. Rotate all 10 toes back to the front of the mat. Plant your fingertips onto blocks or the mat, low lunge. And then press through that front heel, pyramid pose. Sit bones reaching back, collarbones reaching forward. Think about plugging that right thigh bone, the femur, into the hip socket, bringing it back in space, and bring the left hip forward so they're more square toward the top of the mat. Begin to bend into that front leg, walk your hands forward, bring the back knee behind the front knee for this Shiva squat. Press through the bottom heel to straighten the leg, and then plant the left foot on the other side of the right foot. So you're now in this cross-legged forward fold. Right leg in front, left leg behind the right. And settle into this fold. Breathe. You can always have a bend in your knees. If you need to spread your feet out a little bit for more space for the fold, mindfully fidget your way around. And just take big breaths here, folding on your exhale. Relax the neck. Let the crown reach towards the mat. Enjoy this little break. Bring your palms to touch. Bring your forearms to touch. Gentle bend in the knees as you press through the heels. Tuck of the tailbone as you round up. Slowly up to a stand, cross-legged. Feel the toes and everything turning on to keep you here. Send the arms up as high as you can. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Let the forearms separate. Shift the weight into the right foot. Get light onto the left toes. Wiggle your toes free from behind the right leg. And find your expression of tree pose. Your toes can always be on the mat. Maybe begin to zip it up the inseam of the right leg. And maybe just play with your balance by touching and holding your balance in little pieces here. You can do a hovering tree where you just pull the knee up as high as you can. Find your drishti, find your focal point. Beautiful. Left foot comes down to meet the right. Inhale, arms up, upward salute. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into plank or half plank. Go ahead and drop the knees if they're not dropped already and pull yourself forward, knees, chest, chin, bending at the elbows. Press yourself up halfway. Send the hips down towards the mat as you tuck the tailbone and roll down onto your belly. Inhale to cobra, lifting the shoulders. Exhale, lower. Press yourself up and back, right into downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Inhale your left leg up high, long and strong, 3-legged dog. As you exhale, shift the weight forward, bend that right knee, pull it in towards your left armpit, and plant that left foot outside the left palm, adjusting however you need. Sometimes having blocks under your hands in that downward facing dog gives you that space to pull that leg through. I do have really long legs and a short torso, so that pull through is really challenging. Press through the right palm and peel open to the left side, twisted lunge. Back knee is lifted. As you exhale, that top arm is going to weave underneath the right armpit. Rotate the toes to the long edge side of the mat. And then bend into the right knee at the back of the mat for a high skater or skandasana. You can have your hands on blocks here. You could walk them over or hands at heart center. Press through that right heel to send your skater towards the top of the mat. Rotate on the toes to face forward back into your lunge. You can challenge yourself with no hands or blocks or the mat. Press through the front heel to send the hips up and back, pyramid pose. Keeping that spine long. Reach the crown of your head forward. Shift the weight, bend into the front leg. If your hands are down, crawl them forward. Get light on the back toes. Bring the back knee behind the front knee for a Shiva squat. Generous bend in both legs. Squeeze the right heel into the right glute. And then press through that front leg to straighten the back leg. Cross-legged forward fold. This time, the left leg is in front. The right leg is behind. Breathe into this stretch. You can always have a bend in the legs. Adjust yourself however you need to for this to feel comfortable in your body. I like the Goldilocks rule, the not too much, not too little, but just right for this stretch. Relax your neck. Maybe you shake yes or no to really let go of any residual tension it's trying to hold on to. Let the crown drip towards the toes. Bring your palms together, forearms together. What do you need to do with your feet and your stance to find stability here? Feel those stabilizers turning on. Gentle bend in the knees as you begin to rise. Keep the forearms glued together as you send the arms up high. Exhale, hands to heart center. The forearms can separate. Weight into the front foot, the left foot, as you free the right foot to explore your expression of tree pose today. You can go for stillness, or you can challenge yourself, maybe by trying to throw yourself off balance, really working those stabilizers, making the still version a lot easier, really exercising that balance. If the inside of your foot is on the inseam of that left leg, think about pressing the foot into the leg and the leg back into your foot, finding this tension that kind of holds you in balance or holds you in this center. Awesome job. Right foot meets the left. Shake it out. That's a lot of work. Inhale, arms up high, upward salute. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, send your feet back into plank or half plank. Option to move into child's pose for a gentle break before our last round. Or you can move through the vinyasa, pulling yourself into knees, chest, chin. Press up halfway, tuck the tailbone to send your hips down towards the mat, rolling down like a wave. Inhale, peel your head, neck, and shoulders, your chest up off the mat, cobra. Exhale, lower. Press yourself up and back, right into downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Same flow, a little bit faster, but always you can move at your own pace. You can subtract or add anything to the flow to make this your practice. Inhale, 3-legged dog, right leg lifts. Exhale, right leg comes outside the right arm for lizard lunge. Press through the left palm to peel your chest open toward the right, twisted lunge. Right fingertips reach up. As you exhale, weave the top hand underneath the left armpit. Rotate the toes over towards the left. Send the weight back into your left leg. Try to stay low. Option, if you want to challenge yourself, you can try to do it with no hands. Press through the back heel, send the weight towards the top of the mat for a Skandasana at the top of the mat. Rotate the toes back towards the top of the mat for a low lunge. Press your hips back up for pyramid. Try to keep the spine long here, sit bones reaching back. Lean forward, bend into the front leg. Bring the back knee forward for a Shiva squat. Bend in both legs, squeezing that back heel into the glute. Press down through the bottom heel to extend the back leg. Cross-legged forward fold. Right leg in front, left leg behind. A little break to fold. Bring the hands to touch, bring the forearms to touch. Gentle bend in the knees as you root to rise. Slowly lifting, feeling, really tuning into those stabilizers, helping you keep your balance. Keep the forearms glued together as you lift your fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Left leg releases for your expression of tree. Find your focus, find your breath. Left leg lowers next to right. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up, get long. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back plank, half plank, or child's pose. Skip the vinyasa. Lower the knees, pull yourself down into knees, chest, chin, bend at the elbows, hug them in. Press yourself halfway up to roll down onto your belly. Inhale, lift into cobra, pull the shoulder blades together and down your back. Exhale, lower. Tuck the back toes, push up and back. Downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Inhale, 3-legged dog, left leg lifts high to the sky. Exhale, shift forward, bring the knee to the left armpit. Left foot outside the left hand. Keep the back leg lifted. Press through the right palm as you peel the chest open towards the left. Left fingertips reach. Left fingertips thread underneath the right armpit. Rotate on the toes. Pivot. Bend into the right leg. High skater skandasana to the back of the mat. Maybe you find a little more depth this round. Maybe you try no hands. Press through the right heel to send it to the top of the mat, skater, and the left leg. Pivot and rotate on the feet to a low lunge at the top of the mat. And then press through the front heel. Hips go back, pyramid pose. Long spine. Press down through the big toe mound. Shift the weight forward, bend the front knee, get light on the back toes, bring the right knee behind the left Shiva squat, squeeze that back heel up. Exhale, press through the bottom heel to send your hips up and bring the left leg towards straight, cross-legged forward fold, left leg in front this time, and fold. Let the crown drip toward the mat. Bring the palms to touch, bring the forearms to touch. Inhale, root to rise, tuck the tailbone to round yourself up. Notice how your feet, your legs, your hips are working. Fingertips reach slowly up towards the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. Root through the left foot to release the right foot up to find your expression of tree pose. Maybe you need to, always an option to bring the toes down and just take a little. You're still working here. This is still a lot of work. Knowing that those wobbles are part of the journey. Go ahead, bring the right leg down to meet the left and shake it out. Inhale, circle sweep up. Exhale, hinge at the hips to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, and lower onto your belly, however you'd like. Go ahead and send the elbows out wide to stack your palms, making a little pillow for your forehead. Constructive rest here. Take a moment to tune back into your breath. Soften the jaw, soften the little muscles around your eyes. Let your hips and shoulders be heavy. Begin to slow your breath down. Option to bend at the knees, bringing your feet up towards the sky, taking reverse windshield wipers, letting the feet rock from side to side. Go ahead and bring the feet down and send the left arm out long into a half T. You can send it out long, perpendicular from your torso, or you can curl it up high above your shoulder out into a diagonal. Sprinkle the left fingertips outside the left shoulder, bend the left knee, and then roll over onto the right side body for a gentle pec stretch. You can do anything you want with your legs here. You can stack them, pull them up a little bit. Or you can reach back with the left toes, the top toes, finding more of a twist in this position. Roll back onto your belly gently. Other side, pull the right fingertips in towards your shoulders. Send the left arm out long into a half T or into a diagonal. The diagonal is a little less intense. Bend in the right leg. Gently roll over onto the left side body. Be careful of your breast tissue. It can be quite sensitive. You can relax your head towards the mat if that's comfortable. Finding whatever feels okay with your legs. And gently rolling back onto your belly. Bring your hands in towards your rib cage. Press up and back into child's pose. Your legs can be wide or close together. Hips get heavy towards the heels. You can stack your palms again underneath your forehead if you want more of a passive rest here. You can reach them back towards your heels, more for embryo pose. Or you can crawl the fingertips out long. Bring the palms to touch, bending at the elbows, sending the fingers up towards the sky, or maybe the thumbs come towards the nape of the neck. Gently begin to roll yourself up onto your hips. And then let your hips fall to the side. Bring your legs out in front of you into a straddle position. If you want to pull a blanket underneath your hips to kind of help you get on top of your hips, that can be nice. Inhale, get long through the spine, crown reaches up tall. As you exhale, sprinkle your fingertips out in front of you, and you can gently ease yourself in to a nice stretch down the middle. You can always bring in blocks underneath your forearms or hands, or even under your forehead, wherever you're at today. Just begin to soften. See if you can soften into your legs and your hips. Keep your face soft. Maybe go ahead and let your chin tuck in and relax your neck. If a sway from side to side feels good, you can do that. Begin to walk your torso back up. You can lean back on your hands and bring your legs together. And just a gentle shake. We're going to move into a boat pose to lower. So you can start with bended legs and your hands behind your thighs. Long spine, crown reaching, gentle lean back. Maybe you begin to lift your toes to find a balance. You can stay here or you can extend your arms out long. If you feel like you can challenge yourself a bit more, maybe you play with extending your legs a bit longer. They don't ever have to become straight, but you can play with a sweet spot here, Goldilocks rule, right? Breathe, find your drishti, and begin slowly lowering, slower than you want to, all the way down onto your back. Maybe you want to count for yourself, or just take your time. Awesome. Few options here for a last pose. You can take a supine twist of your choice on each side, or if you'd like to do a figure 4 or happy baby. I will let you decide what you feel your body needs here. Take what is calling to you most. And take 5 deep breaths on each side if you're doing a 2-sided pose. And when you're done, let yourself melt down into your final resting position. Letting your eyes be heavy, sinking towards the back of the socket. All the muscles in your face soften and relax. Let your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. Shoulders get heavy and melt into the mat. Wrists and fingers are totally relaxed. Hips are heavy and soft. Ankles and toes are very soft. Let go of anything you're holding on to and surrender here. Begin to deepen your breath, expanding through your rib cage in all directions. Inviting movement back into your body. You can rock your head from side to side. Wiggle through your fingers, your toes. If you would like to take a long body stretch, reaching your arms up overhead, you can find one last stretch. You can hug your knees in, gently making your way up to a seat, however feels good to you today. Keeping your gaze soft, your body soft. As a collective, let's take a big breath in together, so exhale to prepare. Inhale, big breath in together, filling all the way up. Let it out with a sigh. Inhale together, big audible sigh this time. One last time, inhale. Let it all go. You can bring your hands to heart center. Send yourself a mental note of gratitude for showing up to your practice today, honoring your being. Take this compassion and kindness that you've shown yourself here on your mat and extend it to those you encounter out in the world. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey and for allowing me to be a part of yours. We'll end with a bow.